World War II was the deadliest war in human history. It involved over 30 countries, destroyed entire cities, and killed millions of people. But this terrible conflict did not begin suddenly. The roots of the war started many years earlier, after the end of World War I. In 1918, Germany lost World War I. After the war ended, Germany was forced to sign the Treaty of Versailles. This treaty blamed Germany for the war and punished the country severely. Germany had to pay huge amounts of money, reduce its military, and give away territories. The economy collapsed, businesses failed, and millions of Germans suffered from poverty and unemployment. Many people became angry and hopeless. During this difficult period, a man named Adolf Hitler began rising to power. Hitler had served as a soldier during World War I and became furious over Germany's defeat. He joined the Nazi Party and gave emotional speeches promising to restore Germany's greatness. He blamed the country's problems on the government, foreign nations, and especially Jewish people. As Germany's suffering grew worse, more people supported Hitler. In 1933, he became Chancellor of Germany and quickly transformed the country into a dictatorship. Political opponents were arrested, newspapers were controlled, and Nazi ideas were taught in schools. Hitler also rebuilt Germany's military even though it was forbidden by the Treaty of Versailles. Tanks, aircraft, and weapons were produced in large numbers as Germany secretly prepared for war. Hitler believed Germany needed more land and power. In 1936, German troops entered the Rhineland, an area Germany was not supposed to control. Britain and France protested but did nothing. This encouraged Hitler to continue expanding. In 1938, Germany annexed Austria during the Anschluss. Soon after, Hitler demanded part of Czechoslovakia called the Sudetenland. European leaders hoped to avoid another war and allowed Hitler to take the territory. But Hitler was not satisfied. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland using Blitzkrieg, or lightning war. German tanks, aircraft, and soldiers attacked with incredible speed and destruction. Poland was overwhelmed. 2 days later, Britain and France declared war on Germany. World War II had officially begun. Germany quickly conquered Poland and then invaded Denmark, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, and France. France fell within weeks, shocking the world. Britain now stood almost alone against Hitler. Germany launched massive air attacks against British cities during the Battle of Britain. Bombs destroyed homes and buildings while families hid in underground shelters. But Britain refused to surrender. Prime Minister Winston Churchill inspired the nation with speeches promising never to give up. Eventually, Britain successfully defended itself against Germany. Before the war, Germany had signed an agreement with the Soviet Union promising not to attack each other. However, Hitler secretly planned to betray Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. In 1941, Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest invasion in history. Millions of German soldiers stormed into Soviet territory. At first, Germany made huge advances, but the harsh winter and strong Soviet resistance slowly destroyed Hitler's plans. At the same time, the Nazis carried out one of history's greatest crimes, the Holocaust. Millions of Jewish people were forced into ghettos and concentration camps like Auschwitz. Families were separated, starved, tortured, and murdered. Around 6 million Jews were killed during the Holocaust, making it one of the darkest events in human history. Meanwhile, Japan was expanding across Asia. Japanese forces invaded China and committed terrible atrocities during the Nanjing Massacre. Tensions between Japan and the United States continued growing. On December 7, 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. Battleships exploded, aircraft burned, and thousands of Americans were killed. The next day, the United States officially entered World War II. America quickly became one of the strongest forces in the war. Factories produced huge amounts of weapons, ships, tanks, and aircraft. Millions of soldiers joined the military. The United States fought Japan in the Pacific while helping Britain and the Soviet Union fight Germany in Europe. One major turning point came during the Battle of Stalingrad. This brutal battle lasted for months as soldiers fought in freezing ruins. Eventually, German forces were surrounded and forced to surrender. Hitler's army suffered a devastating defeat. Another major turning point happened on June 6, 1944, during the Normandy landings, also known as D-Day. Thousands of Allied troops stormed the beaches of Normandy under heavy gunfire. Many soldiers died during the invasion, but the Allies successfully entered France and began pushing Germany backward. By 1945, Germany was collapsing. Allied forces attacked from both east and west. Cities were heavily bombed, supplies disappeared, and millions fled from the fighting. As Soviet troops entered Berlin, Hitler hid in an underground bunker. On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler committed suicide. Days later, Germany surrendered, ending the war in Europe. However, the war in Asia continued. Japan refused to surrender despite suffering massive losses. The United States then used a terrifying new weapon, the atomic bomb. On August 6, 1945, an atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, destroying much of the city instantly.